Now, our first guests with us here today are Caroline and Frank from the OXJAM Brighton Takeover.
Hi guys.
Hi guys,
Hey,
welcome. Now, OXJAM is the music arm to Oxfam, the charity organisation, and they're calling it the local music but with a global impact.
Very right too. Very right too. So, for anyone who's been hiding under a rock for a few years, what is OXJAM? What does it aim to do?
Well, as you said, OXJAM is part of Oxfam, and Oxfam does loads of kind of fighting the poverty and establishing equality across loads of countries, especially uprising countries, and they're doing loads of good work. For example, putting the toilets up and building the schools and helping the agriculture in developing countries. So they're doing this OXJAM Festival, which happens across the whole UK and different cities doing their own takeovers, all done by volunteers, kind of collecting money for Oxfam. And that's basically how it works. People bring their local music so people can enjoy it, and then you can have fun and then do a good deed as well.
Okay. So everyone's volunteers. So what are your two roles?
I'm the Takeover Manager for the festival. Well, actually for the whole summer. So I'm the boss.
I'm doing all the marketing for OXJAM Brighton.
Okay. You say the whole summer because there's lots of campaigns, fundraisers.
This is part of the remit. We know that we have the festival in October, but Oxfam actually give you quite a lot of support. Even though we're doing it all for nothing, we've had these little training weekends, and they also kind of give you targets to see if you can actually get your team together, if you can fundraise, and then if you've done that by now, they kind of feel confident that we can actually put the actual festival on. But luckily for them, this is the third year I've been involved, so it's kind of like been an interesting journey of these smaller fundraising activities have been more of a challenge in a way. And
what sort of activities have you been getting up to raise money?
Well, one member shaved their head and actually managed quite a lot of money through sponsorship of having the head shaved.
How many people?
How many people? Only one person shaved
just
their head,
one.
but
And
they
how much
managed.
did they raise?
They raised nearly £1,000, which is really amazing.
For a head of hair.
And we had an alternative film night and music night in the Blank Gallery. We had a big night in where people stayed in and they gave the money to the tin that they would have spent out. And we had a massive speakeasy at Envy a few weeks ago where we had burlesque and OXJAM Brighton came and did some dancing. We had some bands.
Cool.
So we've had a whole series of events. Tonight we've got the Blocks, Ian Jury and the Blockheads tribute band and Mauve People at Northern Lights. And we've got the Penguins with Party Hats have got on the 4th of October at the PavTav, another fundraiser.
So it's just all how long ago? So this started
in April.
So that's, how many months is that before October?
Oh.
Prep work?
5 or 6 months.
Okay, and this is the third year you're doing it. So you're
Yes.
spending a lot of your time volunteering.
This is the first year that I've been involved from the beginning. Last year I helped out 5 weeks before. The year before was the one on the actual day. But I organised festivals internationally, but in Britain it was my way in. As I've had to volunteer a lot at festivals because it's very hard to get paid.
Okay.
Right.
And so I put myself out, and but this is the first time I've actually managed and organised the whole thing.
So you're obviously good at it, though. I mean, the amount of people that you've managed to get and the artists.
Because last year it was quite an expansive thing over many venues across the whole of the city.
Yeah.
So is it going to be a similar thing this year? We've got a lot of venues involved.
Yes, we've got 11 venues.
Got 11 venues, some coffee shop acoustic, so it's going to run kind of from the morning to the late night.
Right.
And in the morning there'll be just acoustic musicians in coffee shops kind of giving the feel, and then it will pick up. Different venues have different time frames, so you can start in the morning, go to one place, and then check all the venues out throughout the whole day with one wristband.
Right, yeah, because we were there last year and it was all over the place. We had to
Yeah,
running from one venue to the other like a Great Escape almost.
Yes, and the thing is, it's like it is a large event, and we realise that some people won't get around everywhere, and some people, like we've got some different stages this year with like the Verdict. We've got a jazz stage at the Verdict, and we've got an improvisation and noise stage at the Good Companions. They tend to be more like niche markets, so we expect that to attract more of a singular crowd that will go there. But we also hope that people will buy a wristband and try out other venues.
Right.
But then there's other, the ones that are more close to each other. You can imagine people will pop from one to the other, like the Prince Albert and Under the Bridge and Hobgoblin is a kind of area.
Yeah.
Then you've got Ten Below and the PavTav. So you kind of got little areas where you can imagine people will go around.
So are you finding that's quite a successful way of doing it? Like there's a lot of venues, obviously a lot of effort going into it. Are you finding that's helping get people to donate a lot more money?
Well,
bringing in the niche market, as you say, that didn't happen
this
last year.
This is the challenge, because Brighton, this is the 6th year. Brighton, for 5 years in a row, they've only ever managed to raise £1,000. So we've managed to raise £2,000 already.
Wow.
So we've done better than any Brighton team. But the
Kudos over here.
but the actual takeover, this will be the challenge, because Brighton is used to this, and people are very spoilt. They don't like paying money, and
there's always loads of entertainment,
lots
loads of
of
live
things
music
on.
every day. People never plan,
That's quite
months,
true, actually,
months
yeah.
ahead. They're just like, oh, I see what's tonight.
Yeah.
so
Walk
this
out
is
the door and there's music on somewhere.
anywhere,
so, yeah.
So, and because we know, because there's 65 takeovers happening around the country, and some of the takeovers in small places are really successful because nothing else goes on.
Yeah.
So, this is a challenge and this is the risk, but we've got a fabulous lineup, and we're much further on than we were last year in terms of getting it out and
I was
getting it
going to
out
say,
to
like,
people.
how has it gone in terms of organisation? Has it been a bit chaotic? I mean, you've got venues, artists, volunteers, and there's loads of different jobs that the volunteers do.
We have a great team, and we have loads of people kind of helping each other and doing their own stuff. So we have 5 people in our core team and about 10 people kind of helping them as well as that. So even though it is hard that everybody has full-time jobs or studying, and it's hard to kind of have the time all together because it's not 9 to 5 work.
Yeah.
But people putting effort in, and they're happy to spend their time rather than watching TV, doing something useful for OXJAM and getting in touch.
So if they're volunteering, they obviously want to do it. They're not doing it because there's just money at the end of the day. So
Yes.
that in itself must make people just get together and make productive sessions for.
But it also
ideas
means
or-
it's a changing team, and we've had a changing team, and also it's the heart. You have to trust on so many levels. Trust that the team really do want to do what they say, and then also that people will turn up, and also the trust of the bands that we'll get it all together and they're coming to play for nothing. I mean, it's interesting. It's a huge lesson in trust.
Can you tell us any of the names on the bill? Can you leak any names right here, right now?
Well, we've got the Jar family, which are OXJAM favourites, and they're actually doing 5 OXJAMs this year, and this is their 3rd OXJAM. They often do tours, so the Jar family are going to be at the PavTav.
Oh, there's about 8 guys.
Yeah,
and
they're
they've
from
all got-
Hartlepool.
I saw them in the
Oxfam
Oxfam
bookshop last
record
year.
shop last year. They were brilliant.
Yeah.
How they all fit in that shop with the audience as well, I don't know, but honestly, they blew me away.
They're
They were
great,
really-
and
they were
also
really good.
right after them at the PavTav, we've got the Carnival Collective. So there's going to be 8 on stage, and then there's going to be about 20. So the PavTav is just going to rock. Like from 1 o'clock in the morning, people won't be able to get in.
Great stuff. That's what you want.
No, absolutely. And also, just in terms of OXJAM tours, we've also got a band called the Savage Nomads, which are actually a band from South London, but they're going to be playing with us at the PavTav again at 5 o'clock, and then they zip up to London and then they headline the New Cross Takeover stage. So we're actually sharing a band that day, which is really exciting. And
That's dedication.
well, absolutely. And there's a band called Echo Tape that are a kind of local band, but they're more like from Winchester. They're going to be playing for us and then playing in Worthing in the actual evening of that day. So it's interesting how we've been sharing bands as well as having local talent like Grasshopper. You must know
brilliant bands.
Grasshopper.
Yeah,
They're going to be playing. And have you got some bands you want to talk about?
There's going to be a really good jazz stage at the Verdict. Normanton Street, they're quite known locally, and they do nice, funky jazz evenings, as well as EMI. I think they have quite a big set, is it like 8 people or something? But at the same time, it's quite successful how we managed to get them to play for free, and they got a big following in Brighton. Who else can I think of?
That's going to bring the crowds down then, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, the Verdict, they've got a great, Jack Kendon, he's done the curating, and it starts from like 11 o'clock in the morning. He's got some big bands, swing bands, dance bands, jazz bands. It's like, and the Verdict there's only got about 50 people in there, and one band's at least 20 strong. So we've got these tiny little places with these huge lineups, so it's going to be amazing on that level.
You'll have people sort of pouring out into the street, and then people who, if they didn't know what was going on, which I doubt, they'll see what's happening. It won't
Absolutely.
be so enclosed in the venues.
We're hoping it's going to be very like the Great Escape, when people piling up
Yeah.
just to go in for the next band.
That'd be good.
Because it would be brilliant if that happens. But I mean, Brighton knows Great Escape, and it's very similar in terms of the venues and local bands and upcoming music. So we're hoping people are used to that sort of format, and they'll be interested to see what's it about.
Okay, cool. So, what's your target then this year? Money raised from the
£5,000.
OXJAM? £5,000. Brilliant. And you're already, so almost halfway there.
Yeah,
And
so
the event hasn't even happened yet.
no, and the thing is, we haven't had to spend too much to raise that. But the thing is, we're going to have to spend a little bit on the actual takeover. So I don't know in terms of expenditure versus how much we really raise.
Right,
but
okay.
I feel like we've got a good chance at making that target.
So
Cool.
far, it's going well.
Yeah, and so if people are watching this and thinking, how do I get involved and volunteer? Like, how can they get in touch with you guys?
They can either go on our Facebook page, just give us a message, or go on our website, and there's loads of information in terms of volunteering. How do you get in touch? What can you do? And how much time you want to spend?
Yeah.
I was going to say, there's different things you can do on there, isn't there? Like a gig organiser and
Yes,
maybe money taker, and you can do as little or as much as you like. So
Exactly. Yeah.
don't think you're suddenly giving up your whole.
yeah, because you can at the moment you can buy a wristband for £9.90 including the fee. But on the day you can buy wristbands on the actual day. It'll be a bit more expensive on the day. So we need people to be on the door, help with selling wristbands as well as artist liaison. We've got quite a lot of sound engineers, but we're always looking for people who enjoy tech kind of stuff, you know, that kind of thing.
A couple of people taking photos,
Yeah.
videoing. Loads
But we
of roles.
also want people to be audience.
Yeah, you heard. Don't stay home and watch TV like you are tonight. Get out there, spend some money at some of the venues, donate obviously, put some money in the boxes and enjoy the bands. I mean, you've got to get out, enjoy music and donate a little bit of cash for the pleasure.
And I do have to mention Sandy Dillon and the Wrecking Crew. She's coming down from London to come to the Pav Tav, and she's like a crazy Patti Smith type performing pert lady.
What's her name, sorry?
Sandy Dillon, and it's
Okay.
Sandy Dillon and the Wrecking Crew. So I mean, it's the thing is
That
a lot of
sounds
the
like carnage.
the late night stay at the Pav Tav is the place
go
to
to
be,
that
I
one.
think. Oh, and also I've got to say we've got a DJ Calm Hype, we've got a trap night. Just DJs at 10 Below. So we do. That's another kind of niche stage. We keep forgetting to talk about 10 Below and just dance. And there's the improvisation and sound at Good Companions with Safe House, which is a local. They've been going for 10 years. The improvisation crowd, and the Spirit of Gravity, which at the moment are over at New Haven Fort doing a massive sound improvisation one-dayer. So
Right.
There is pretty much something for everyone.
everyone.
Yeah.
Either get involved or come and watch. There's no excuse. Again then, if people want to get in touch, it's Facebook.com/OXJAM Brighton Takeover. All one word, I believe.
Or the website.
www.oxjambrighton.com.
Brilliant. And this is hot off the press, isn't it?
This is going to
So
be our
people will be
poster.
seeing these a lot around the city in a few days.
Just quickly, I've spotted there the Big Lemon. What's all that about? That's that bus that runs on oil, isn't it?
Yeah. So
Are they going to be playing a gig?
they're not doing the gig, but they're being one of our sponsors, our gold sponsors. They're donating money to us just to help OXJAM, and they're going to have all our posters on the publicity on their buses. So they're going around universities, and they've got a couple of routes in Brighton.
So they'll be shipping down the students as well.
And they're also going to put collecting boxes on their buses. It's amazing, actually. The support we've had from local people has been really great, and all the people that have been given to their pub. We've managed to get cheap printing from 4Print and Design. Sound on Cue are doing all our PA and stuff for us. So we've actually got a good lot of support, local people.
Brilliant. Caroline, Frank, thank you so much
Thanks,
for joining
guys.
us. Thanks so
Thank
much
you
for
very
your
much.
hard work you've been putting into OXJAM.
And yours work too. It's cool. Thank you.
Pleasure.